Again, I think we chatted about this before with your overheads. I know sometimes it'll depend on the amount of cymbals, the amount of metalwork that's going on. Do you mic in pairs quite a lot and trying to minimise the bleed from the snare onto those snare?
Yeah, and spot mic Chinas, spot mic the ride, obviously, hats separately. So.
And would you ever use a spaced pair?
I would. Sometimes. Testament, for example, I did like a pair of 414s above the drummer's head.
Right.
Sort of width of the snare a bit higher, and then compress them harder to try and get a stereo picture out of it.
As well as the spot mics.
Yeah.
Right.
Just blended it in. So there's a bit of the you're like that bit parallel compression almost.
Right. Do you have a standard approach with room mics, or would you only use room mics for certain bands and certain scenarios?
I always put one or two up. I'm never that fussy with them. But it's always worth having up because there's always parts of songs where certain fills where you want a bit more smack out of the room,
Right. And do you generally try and avoid picking up the metalwork with them, sort of like lower about knee height?
Yeah. Or in a room off to the side, so it's not getting the top end killing it.
From working with you in the past, I know you usually take clean sample hits so you can fly different samples in if a drummer goes around the toms. Do you ever use samples taken from the kit used for tracking in the mix?
Yeah, all the time.
All the time?
Yeah.
Right, okay. And when you prepare those samples, do you tend to just go with the spot mics or combine it with the overheads?
Usually just the spot mics for that.
Right, okay. When recording bass, how many tracks do you generally go across? Do you generally go across the sort of like mic and DI approach, or two mics?
A lot of the time now I just record a DI when we're actually tracking, and then just mess with it later. You'll throw it through a rig or in the camper or whatever. Whatever is sounding off decent. I mean, we'll mess around with it to make sure we've got the right bass beforehand.
Yeah.
But just for ease of tracking, we'll probably just go with a DI with a plug-in on it for tracking. It's only bass, isn't it?
Yeah.
We know that bass player, don't
we, Mark? We do indeed. Yes, we do. Good Lord. When it comes to rhythm guitar tracks, last time we chatted, you'd sort of, if I remember rightly, you'd kind of slightly moved away from quad track guitars, and you'd sort of like moved towards just double tracking guitars.
Again, it depends on what you're tracking. I mean, if it's real fast stuff, like with Exodus, for instance, we just do two normally. Just because you want to hear that pick attack, you want it really clear. Right. You don't want it blurring, and however tight you are, I think when you start putting four in, even if that thickness you think it's adding, it takes away from that in-your-faceness.
Sure. So is there sort of a correlation between the faster guitar performances, you'll go more towards double tracking, and the slower performances more potentially?
Yeah, if you want to layer it up. But I'll usually do different inversions on the chords and stuff as well, just to add some thickness. Except we usually normally just do two on that. I mean, I know that's not fast stuff, but then there'll be a lot of layers. There'll be like cleaner guitars laid in to make chords jump out.
Sure.
And choruses will probably have four guitars in to help it, just so it's got something to jump. Yeah. If I've got four guitars, there'll probably be two guitars with a different rig in there. Yes. Just so it's not, because if there's something that's not nice in those first two, it smooths it out, and you're not exaggerating it.
And sorry, just on that subject, because it's an interesting point. When you're looking at two principal rhythm guitars and you are quad tracking, do you have any general approaches? Do you want to significantly differ the amount of bass and treble in each, or do you just get two really nice sounds?
Yeah, two sounds and see if they're working together. If something, maybe one's a little bit more notey sounding and the other one's got a fatter low end to it.
Sure.
So usually it's adding something that the other one hasn't got, or you feel something's lacking slightly.
Got you. Generally, when you're recording guitars, do you generally go with just one microphone, or are you moving more towards two these days?
I mean, the Audio Technica dual diaphragm stuff I've been digging quite a lot. I guess I've moved away from it a little bit, but I still whenever the 57 isn't there, I kind of miss it a little bit. There's something about it that does work. Still the 421 57 type thing,
on axis and off axis kind of thing.
Yeah.
Moving on to recording vocals.
Probably just do a bit of corrective EQing on it on the way in. You know, a bit of roll off and
right.
Not much more really. Not on the way in.
No.
Compression, it'll be safe-ish. I mean, if it's something like distress or something, it'll be 6-1 and minus 12 dB
on a bass or
no, on vocal.
On vocals, okay.
Yeah.
Do you ever compress the drums on the way in?
No, not normally. No, I might record something, like a parallel thing on the way in on the snare or something, just a smack, or even maybe the room mic a little bit, Sure. But I play safe with it.